Griffon Sports Insider is presented by Mosaic Life Care.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too.
Hello and welcome. You know, we live in Missouri. You wonder if Max will ever learn.
He's a mythical creature.
Well,
You saw him death to begin with.
You're right. It shouldn't affect him at that point.
Yeah.
70 degrees last week here, 7 degrees this week. But despite that, spring sports are in full swing.
Well, you knew old man winter or old woman winter would catch up with us. It's still February, but Griffon baseball has a series under its belt, and Griffon softball's on deck. They start the season this week.
Yeah, more on that in a bit, but first, basketball. It is rivalry week here in St. Joseph. Northwest Missouri State comes to town this Wednesday. Always a fun affair.
Absolutely.
But before we go there, let's go back to last week. The Griffon men went 1-1 on the road, including another thriller. Thursday in Jefferson City, Missouri Western men in a wild showdown with Lincoln. Western down 15 with under 10 minutes to play. Coach Brett Weiberg says, let's gamble, let's press, and it pays off. The Griffons chipping away. Kevin Thomas, rebound, put back, and one. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds. Griffons within 12 now, and then you can let the comeback officially commence. Darian Jones nails the big three. The Griffons now within 3. Later, Jones again. Same spot, same result. Western within 1 with 3 minutes to go. Skip ahead, under 30 seconds to play. Still a 1-point Lincoln lead. Jones misses the jumper but forces the loose ball. Colbert gets it, no good, but Jones there for the putback. 20 points on the night for the senior. Griffons go ahead by 1. They're up 2 in the final seconds. Lincoln with a shot to tie it or win it. Joshua Bowie drives the paint, open lane, open layup. He had 25 points for the Blue Tigers. We are tied and headed for overtime, but the extra period, all Western. Trez Colbert, 2 of his 20 points. Later, Aaron Emanuel forces the steal, finishes the job. He had 10 points, 1 of 4 Griffons in double figures. They come back and stun Lincoln. 79-72 the final. It's Western's 3rd straight road win, also the 3rd straight time they've overcome a double-digit second-half deficit on the road. Say that 3 times fast. Darian Jones, you have the floor.
Besides him being ugly, I mean, nah, I'm just playing. Nah, he hit some big threes in the corner. You know, that's just what seniors do, and that's what he got to do.
I feel once I see one shot go in, then I start feeling good.
So you just got to make one shot, that's it. Because no one was making a shot for about the first 8 minutes of that second half.
Yeah, I just have to see one go in, even if it's a layup, just, you know, that's what gets me going.
I think what changed is obviously we went to the full press, hoping and praying that they would make some mistakes, and that's exactly what happened. And then I felt like all of a sudden we went in aggressive but smart mode. And then, you know, so we made shots at the rim, we made a couple threes, and we just got fortunate.
Saturday, Griffon men gunning for their 4th straight road win. To do it, they'd have to take down Brad Soderberg in 1st place, Lindenwood. Western hanging tough with the MIAA's top team. Cole Clearman, deep 3. Griffs would have a 2-point lead with 10 minutes to play, but the game turns from there. The Lions unleash a 13-0 run to take command and take control. Nick Van Osdale nails a 3. Later, Chance Creekmer following up with the same shot. Lions shot 50% from 3 land and 50% from the field. No comeback wins for the Griffons today. They fall 66-57 the final.
We've closed the gap this year, and that's a tribute as much as anything to our kids. But we have to also put ourselves in a position to where we know it's going to be hard to win in here. They're a good team. They're tied for 1st in the league, but we have to expect to win in here. You know, we have to expect if we carry the game plan over and do the game plan to win. So you kind of find, you know, we're at the point to where you're walking that fine line. You don't want to take any moral victories, but you don't want to get too far down, and but you also don't want to accept losing ever.
And joining us now in person Head coach Brett Weiberg looked good today.
Great tie.
Thank
Who's
you.
hosting the show today?
I don't know.
Is it him? Is it us? I
don't know. You make that look good.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks.
He's a stylish individual. Well, I know you want to talk about clothes. You want to talk about basketball, and we'll talk about Lindenwood in a minute because you're going to see them again Saturday. But let's talk about Darian Jones right now, playing so well in his senior season, and he began this season, as you put it. Here's the doghouse, and Darian was lower than the doghouse. He was upset with playing time, almost didn't stick it out, and talked about that.
You know, I made probably a bad decision early on, but I'm glad to be back, and you know, hopefully we can keep this going. I just had to, you know, stay positive and keep working hard every day, and that's what I did, and you know, it's showing.
The one thing I will not ever question with him is that he's a good teammate to his teammates in all the right ways. You know, every good player, and he's a good player, wants to shoot it. Every good player wants to play as many minutes as they possibly can, and he's no exception. But at the end of the day, the reason that he's still on our team is because at the end of the day, he'll do what I ask him to do. And he's a good kid, too.
Well, Brett, the calendar now says February, and there's only one team that you haven't seen, and it's probably one that you're very familiar with. And Rivalry Wednesday in the Fieldhouse, Northwest Missouri State comes to town. This is a Northwest club. It's 15-5 overall, 8-4 in the MIAA, and they shoot the lights out of it, too. What are we going to see from the Bearcats?
Well, I think that's exactly what you'll see. Probably the point guard will play. He's been out with a high ankle sprain, and we're counting on him playing. He's a good little player. If he doesn't play, they've been pretty effective without him as well. I think they're more effective with him. At the end of the day, they have just the right enough balance. They are probably night in and night out, they're the best three-point shooting team in the league, but they have just enough balance inside with Kozad and Doherty, the left-hander, that they make you respect them to a certain degree inside as well. And so they're a tough cover. What we're going to do is try to really compete. Obviously, we don't want their very best three-point shooters making a lot of threes. So if a couple other guys make some threes, we may live with that, but we can't have their best three-point shooters making threes, and we've got to control Kozad to a certain extent. And
as Brett mentioned, you know, you've only seen Northwest once, and now you're going to start seeing everybody twice. And this was like this last year with Lindenwood. You see them twice in a 7-day span. Just talk about having to come back after playing them on the road Saturday. I think you played well. You just didn't. You grimace at that. But I don't. You know, you just didn't have the horses.
There were stretches where we played well.
Yeah.
There were stretches where we played well, and we've got to have the complete package if we're going to beat the top teams in the league. We got to be able to make enough of our perimeter jump shots. We have to be able to make enough of our interior shots when we get them, and we didn't do that. I think we could defend even that night at a little bit higher level. You know, I think we did good things, but at the end of the day, they shot it almost 50% from the field, and we've got to get that number down a little bit.
You're near the top of the MIAA in steals per game. It's about 7.5. How you talked about you wanted to be good defensively, and then you literally didn't want teams to score your first year. We haven't quite done that yet.
No.
But and I don't think that's ever going to happen. If it is, you'll set some kind of record. But how do you feel defensively overall?
You know, this is the team competes close to how we want them to compete, and defensively, it's a little bit more of the identity that we're going to have. We've probably ended up trapping a little bit more and pressing more than I would have thought maybe at the beginning of the year. But it's really come down to this. That's kind of who we are, and it's kind of what we've got.
And you've done a good job in not overusing that, too.
Well, I think if we do, the teams will beat us. They'll end up giving up layups and dunks.
But you're putting it in at the right time, and it's been very effective.
And you know, and the kids we've practiced it more than we've ever practiced it in my coaching career. You know, and they're doing a good job. And those presses, the press is most effective when you press when you want to, as opposed to pressing when you have to. Now we had to press a little bit at Lincoln the other night, and we got fortunate there. But the press and the trap situations, even in the half court that we do, most of the time we're doing it the last several games when we kind of want to, and teams aren't as good as attacking that, you know, as opposed to when you're down by 10 with 5 minutes to go. At the end of the day, you're going to give up a layup, you're going to give up a dunk, and do some things most of the time. So kids have done a pretty good job in just doing what we're asking them to do, and it's been effective for us at times.
Well, one thing that's effective for us all the time, not at times, all the time, is Easley's tantalizing trio. And a lot to talk about today. The calendar says February now. You know what our featured dessert is?
It's velvet cake.
Velvet cake.
Yeah, of course it is.
You can have it in a shake. You can have it in a malt, cookies, a number of different ways. But I
didn't know that.
You can do that.
I'm glad you didn't know that because he brings it up every year, every February.
Absolutely. So. Not that you're paying any attention.
I'm not paying any attention.
Anyhow, Brett, so you know how this works. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you a few things about the Super Bowl. I'm just curious. In addition to the game, a lot of other things that go on. And what was your favorite commercial?
I can't remember hardly any of the commercials, so I'll say the one I can remember, and that was the dog with Budweiser.
Okay, absolutely.
You know,
we have 2 dogs.
What was it, the Progressive insurance where the kid's like, I didn't have 8 cooties or get kissed by a girl because I died? Huh. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
That was the most depressing. That might be the worst Super Bowl commercial I've ever seen. It was terrible.
I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And I watched pretty much the whole game, so I don't know if I zoned out during the commercial.
Well, speaking of terrible, and I wasn't as appalled by this as the rest of America, apparently, but you certainly saw how the game ended, second and goal on the 1-yard line, and put yourself in the headset of Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevel, the Seahawks offensive coordinator.
I think,
it's the equivalent of taking a 3 when you've got an open layup.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, if they had it to do over again, I know they would.
I think New England was prepared to let them
score.
They
would hand it off 3 times.
Probably makes you as sick as anything.
And so I know, you know, I feel for that coaching staff. I'm sure they thought, run it, throw it, run it, run it. I think it's even been said after now.
He even said he was going to waste it down. Which
I don't know if you waste it down there, but hey, throw it, and if it worked, but run, throw, run. And I don't think probably near enough credit goes to that kid. That step,
great play.
I mean,
absolutely.
A fantastic play.
It's better to be lucky and good, but when you're good, you're lucky.
Well, and then they had dropped the ball that fell into the guy's chest.
But I think Brett's right. I think the Patriots, because they did this in the Super Bowl against the Giants, they were prepared to let them score to give them 25 seconds to run down the field. And I think that was just lucky. That was just luck.
And the problem, and with that guy, I think they could have tried not to let him score, and he would have scored anyway.
Yeah, that's why I think they were just going to olay it, and for whatever reason. Anyway.
Brett, and finally, completely switching gears from the Super Bowl. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Buzz Verduzco, baseball coach, he was stranded in winter storms. You know winter storms have names. This one is Linus, Winter Storm Linus. He was stranded in an airport in the Northeast last week. He was out there doing some recruiting. Obviously, his team opened in Arkansas. I'm curious, if you're stranded in an airport, how does Brett Weiberg spend his time? Are you the enraged man at the podium trying to get a flight out, even though there's no chance to get a flight out?
No.
Are you going to buy a book? Are you going to sleep?
Buy books and magazines.
Okay.
That's exactly what I do, because my phone would go out and I would not have a charge cord.
Absolutely.
I would be begging for someone for a charge cord, but I'd go buy me books and
the Wall Street Journal,
magazines and newspapers.
Quick correction, your Linus reference with the piano. Yeah. It was Schrader with the piano. Linus had the blanket.
Was it really later? Yeah, Schroeder.
Excuse me, Schroeder.
Lucy liked the piano player.
Yes, Schroeder. Yes, thank you. All right, I'm glad we got our Charlie Brown.
That's right.
Yes.
You're right.
And Snoopy, of course.
As usual.
And Brett Weiberg. I'm always right.
That's right.
About everything.
Good luck this week. Let's get some home wins.
Thank you, guys. We need them. Thank you.
If change never happened, how would life take flight? How would our days unfold? At Heartland Health, we believe change can be beautiful. That's why we're changing our name to offer you even better care. Care that keeps up with the changes in your life and the moments that matter most. Heartland Health is becoming Mosaic Life Care. It's more than health care, it's life care. Visit us online to learn more.
Ready or not, spring. Missouri Western softball is back. The Griffons opened the 2015 campaign this weekend in Arkadelphia, Arkansas at the Henderson State Tournament. The Griffons coming off another spectacular season in 2014, a 39-18 record, a first ever MIAA tournament championship, and a 7th NCAA tournament appearance in 10 years.
Yeah, they have no plans to take a step back either this year, but Coach Jen Bagley-Trotter will look to an incredibly young group to carry on that winning tradition.
When you come off of a season like we did last year, everybody always laments over the seniors and the seniors you lose and the kids you lose. The truth of the matter is we do return 5 starters. And in addition to that, we also have kids that spent time in the wings waiting for their position, waiting for their chance. We're really young. We only have 2 seniors and we only have 2 juniors. everybody else are sophomores and freshmen, and within that group there's some really exciting things that we hope to see from the kids, that we see the potential in.
There's a few of us, that aren't, true sophomores. We have a little bit of experience, and I think that's just helpful to our underclassmen. We are going to have some, a few possibly, not sure yet, but some freshmen that may have to step up and take a role. Right now, I can't tell you who our starting catcher is going to be. Right now, I can't tell you who our starting first baseman is going to be. Third base, shortstop. I hope that it proves to be a good problem and that it's just an embarrassment of riches. Our starting lineup and who plays defensively is going to be very much predicated by who's swinging the best bat at the time.
The general consensus is that a lot of our girls can hit home runs.
We want to mash this year. We should have a more powerful, more exciting offense than maybe we've seen in the last couple of years. We know that we're probably going to have to win games just a little differently, not to take anything away from our pitching staff, because I think we'll be very solid there. But having Jackie Bishop leave the program, that kind of kid doesn't come around all the time. We have built our offense in a way that I feel like we will be able to shoulder that. They want everything. They want to carry on the tradition. I'm hungry for more, and I think we all are.
Of course, we have our captains on our team, but I see a lot of leadership coming from our freshman class as well. We have a lot of good, positive attitudes in our freshman class, and as well as our sophomores, that I think they're really going to be the game changer.
Western opens shop this weekend with 5 games in the Henderson State Classic. That starts with the host school on Friday in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Missouri Western baseball also in Arkansas this weekend, just like they were last weekend. The Griffons are off to a 2-2 start after splitting a 4-game series at 17th ranked Arkansas Tech. They are back south for a 3-game series at Harding University starting on Saturday. Head coach Buzz Verduzco back from the frozen tundra out east. He's now joined by our Brett Easley.
January, now it's February, but January you're playing real baseball, and real baseball it was. You took on Arkansas Tech on the road. And, you went 2-2, which is great. Good regional wins. You probably could have gotten another one in that series as well.
Well, we did. We learned a lot about our team. Anytime you face a regional type opponent like Ark Tech, who hosted a regional last season, by the way, and be able to come away with 2 wins on the road is huge, actually. And so I thought we pitched well. We didn't quite play as good a defense as we probably could have. But I think all in all, through the course of the weekend, the energy was there with our players. They were ready to play. It was exciting, opening day, all that. And so I think we're only going to build on it.
Well, it seemed like the talk going into last year was all of the new faces. Well, coming into this year, you've got a good core of guys back to go along with some new guys.
But anytime you have a middle, a core group of guys with Degner in center field and Cody Childs at shortstop, Dylan Cook, who's a veteran for us. You don't have a lot to worry about, at least when those kids are in. And so, from that standpoint, we're confident. We think those guys can impart a lot of good things as far as what it really takes to win at this level to our new guys, and so we're hoping to run with that a little bit.
Got a couple of new corner infielders, and both of those guys played well for you over the weekend. Tell folks about that.
David Glode, our new third baseman, Canadian kid, outstanding job. In fact, we hit him a little bit further down the order to start to kind of just get him used to kind of this level, and then it didn't take us long, and then we finally put him in the 3-hole. He's that good. Played excellent defense at third base, along with Cosimo Canella, our new first baseman. Did a terrific job offensively. He still has some things, I think, defensively to work out, but he's going to be very, very good within the league.
Buzz, this weekend you head south again. You'll travel to Searcy, Arkansas this time. It's 3 games with Harding. What will that series be like? And along those lines, I know you feel like you need to clean some things up from weekend 1 to weekend 2. What might that be?
We do. I think probably to get our catching core a little bit more kind kind of in tune with what we want, I think, from coaches and how to handle the pitching staff, certain situations that we like to do certain things, maybe pitch calling, when to pitch around a certain hitter, when not to, when to really attack them. If we can get them on the same page, I think that's going to be a big plus for us, because they're all capable, they're all eager, they're all talented, and so as soon as we can do that, I think our pitching staff's going to really benefit. I think probably our short game has to improve. I think there were opportunities. I think we had opportunity to extend a lead, maybe in game one, and we had a couple short game opportunities. We didn't really get it done to be able to score some guys that we typically can do. We like that part of it within our offense, and we just didn't get it done, and it came back to hurt us late in that game.
Well, Buzz, I would be remiss if we didn't end this interview with the world famous Easley's Tantalizing Trio. So I ask you 3 questions. They may be about baseball, they may not be about baseball, and you tell me exactly what's on your mind and how you would answer them. So I would be remiss. We tape this show on Mondays. I would be remiss if we didn't play armchair quarterback this morning and go back to second and goal on the 1-yard line. You're Pete Carroll, Seattle Seahawks. Is there any way you're not handing that football to Marshawn Lynch?
I'm handing the ball off to Lynch without question. No question.
Without question. I think I probably would too, as would everybody else in America. Can't have it back, though. Secondly, Buzz, you were caught in this blizzard out in the Northeast. A lot of people don't know that. You were out there doing some recruiting. Any truth to the fact when you were stranded in the airport that you were going to ride back in a Ryder truck with the Kenosha Kickers? And do you know who the Kenosha Kickers are?
No, but it sounded funny. But no truth to that. It was a tough week for me. I dodged a tough storm, but ended up making it back okay. My assistant coaches did a great job preparing the team, and so the team was in good hands, and so I'm happy to be back.
And finally, in your time, because I'm sure you spent some time in the airport, did Buzz Verduzco pick up any new hobbies in that time, or were you the guy that was studying your scouting reports and on your iPad and looking at everything just even?
No new hobbies, just waiting for things to kind of pick up where I can get on the plane and get back. It seemed like I was gone 3 days longer than I probably expected to, but it seemed like forever. But it's great to be back.
And finally, only because I'm curious, were you ever a maniac at the airport podium stand demanding a flight out at once, even though there was no chance to do that?
No, but I've seen that. Actually, I was the person who thought ahead when they canceled everything on Tuesday. I made my flight early Monday for Wednesday, so I was one of the lucky ones.
Typical baseball coach, always thinking ahead. That's Buzz Verduzco. Good luck this week.
Thank you, Brett.
Brian, back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. As we go to break, 2 of Buzz Verduzco's former players are here in St. Joe preparing for their 3rd season of professional baseball. They're getting ready to ship out to the minors. KQ2's Chucky Kemp checks in with Griffon greats Grant Fink and Michael Schultz.
2 stars at Missouri Western on the diamond. Michael Schultz and Grant Fink are now trying to climb the ladder in the minor leagues.
It was different seeing, 150 guys around you, same talent level, all fighting for, a starting spot.
Everyone's just a little bigger, a little faster, a little stronger. The game just speeds up a little bit.
Last summer was the first full season for the 2 former Griffs, and that season taught them a lot.
A lot of times in college you can rely a little bit on your talent. An approach is so much bigger when you get into the pro level that if you don't have an approach, you're not gonna be able to compete consistently.
It was a challenge physically and mentally.
You go through your struggles, you go through your high points, but the grind is what makes it fun.
You got a 6-month season, long bus rides, early mornings, late nights. It's definitely a grind, but that's the beautiful thing about it too. It challenges you, and that's why I play the game in the first place.
One of those challenges comes off the diamond. The grueling season takes a toll on the body, so both of the college standouts are on special diets and workout plans to help them build their muscles back up and maintain them.
Put the mass back on, hit the weights hard, and we make it a goal every offseason to go in 10 pounds heavier into spring training because we know we're going to lose it.
I make those programs specific to baseball as well as the position that they play. So everything has a purpose and a reason of why we do what we do.
The 2 will enter their 3rd year along with hundreds of other players working toward the same goal, but with the right mindset.
The most important thing is the only thing is to worry about things you can control. The only thing I can control as an athlete is what I'm doing, how hard I'm working.
Wherever their journey leads, they know they've got the black and gold helping them along the way.
This place is amazing. You can't get nicer facilities than this around here. And we're lucky the coaches here, allow us to come back and spend our time here. We're definitely thankful for it.
Welcome back. The wild roller coaster ride continues for Missouri Western women's basketball.
Well, the highs are high and the lows are low, aren't they? The story of this season so far could be basically summed up in the microcosm of the 2 games last week. Their worst loss of the season, followed by possibly their most impressive win of the season. Thursday, a gut-wrenching loss at Lincoln that saw the Missouri Western women blow a 13-point lead in the game's final 8 minutes.
Off of what was probably one of the most disappointing losses in my career.
Well, Saturday sees redemption. The Griffons at Lindenwood and trying to snap a 17-game road losing streak. Serafina Handy out to help the cause. One of her 4 threes on the day. She scored 11 of her 14 points in the first half. Griffs go to the break with an 8-point lead. Second half, they expand the lead. Millie Koya Mina Vore, 12 points on 7 of 8 shooting. This part of a 26-4 Griffin run, and then they unleash LaQuinta Jefferson. The MIAA's leading scorer didn't play much in the first half. She made the most for lost time. Jefferson scored 21 of her team-high 23 points in the second half. She didn't miss a shot all game. A perfect 9 for 9 from the field. Jefferson getting everybody involved as well. Snap pass to Kia Baez. Baez career-high 15 points. The Griffins shoot a sizzling 67% in the second half, 58% for the game, and they snap the road skid with an emphatic 87-59 victory. That is a big, big win after a heartbreaking loss on Thursday.
The loss the other night, I was worried about how much it could damage our team's psyche. Not only the team, but just coaches. But then to come back and watch the kids play today and have so much fun and in the way they played. Our execution today was unbelievable. Every time out, every time we called something, our kids executed and we got the basket. And then obviously Q was pretty special the second half.
I felt good. I felt that I let my team down in the first half, but I had to just get it going in the second half. I'm glad that we could show the whole conference that we can do this, and now we just got to put it together every game. Man.
Where do you keep it together?
Playing hard.
Nick McCutcheon here with Griffon women's head coach Rob Edmondson. There's a lot of positives that can come out of that game on Saturday, but is just a little part of you a little bit frustrated to see what this team can be in a league game on the road and not see that week in and week out?
Oh, sure. It's like going to a car lot and they let you test drive a Cadillac, but you end up having to buy a Chevy or an El Camino, and you got to see the Cadillac version Saturday, and we'd like to ride in that Cadillac the rest of the year, but so far we haven't proven that we can stay in that Cadillac. So, but if we can, boy, we're a tough team.
Hopefully that Cadillac. Hopefully you're driving it Wednesday. Northwest comes to town. A big game every way you look at it, especially rivalry week. What do you see out of Northwest?
Well, obviously they're a team that's experiencing some of the same things we are. Play well one game and maybe not so well the next. But again, you throw everything out the window when you play the rival game, and you better be ready to play hard because it's going to be a game that the records don't matter. It's about that 40 minutes and competing hard. And we're excited we're on our home floor for the first of the 2 of the games, and if you can set a tone and really establish something, that maybe that'll help when we have to go to their place.
Lindenwood coming up again too on Saturday. How do you kind of prep the team after what they were able to do to them last week to kind of keep them in the right frame of mind going into another matchup?
Yeah, that's always the challenge when you play a team on a short turnaround, where you play a team and beat them convincingly, and then try to convince your kids 7 days later when they come back in, this guys, you understand this could be really tough, and their short-term recall is there. So our kids will have to show a huge amount of maturity in that game, just with understanding that whatever you did in the Lindenwood game at their place isn't going to do anything to help you win this game. You got to go do it again.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Stay in that Cadillac this week. All right. Well, he's Rob Edmondson. I'm Nick McCutcheon. Ryan, Brett, back to you guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. The Griffins 9-9 overall, 4-8 in MIAA play. They host Northwest on Wednesday and back against Lindenwood on Saturday. And you hope you can get 2 more wins at home, and then you separate yourself from the pack, kind of the bottom teams. They need to stay ahead of those teams that they're playing this week.
Coach Edmondson has said on numerous occasions there isn't a game left on the schedule that his team cannot win, and they've been pretty good at home for the most part. And these are 2 this week that we got to get them, and I think we got a good chance to.
That's 5:30 on Wednesday night, 1:30 on Saturday afternoon. GSI will be right back. you know, we've gotten through this show for about 3 months. We kind of cut out the stupidity, and the ratings went up.
Yeah, they went way up.
And
now look, I know this kid's got some fantasies. I mean, all graduate
that is our
do,
GSI intern.
Spank.
Well, I don't think he's spunk him.
Second of all, that was a tiger in the halftime.
We're talking about, that was the Katy Perry halftime.
Mythical figure.
I don't know. I didn't know if you could spunk somebody or anything like that.
Let the kid have fun.
I guess so.
But speaking of,
how are you doing? Not good.
He's been violated. He's been spanked.
Left out in the cold. Super Bowl team lost. Seahawks lost.
Run the football, right, Pete? I mean, simple as that.
I know you're upset.
Did you bet on the game? We can't bet. Did you bet on the game?
Well, okay, and you lost all your money.
Yes,
that's great. So now you're going to try to find a way to sue us again, basically, is what that...
Hey! What? Well, speaking of sue and legal team, we'll be contacting ours again. A lot of counts, a lot of ways we could go with that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Griffs.